Dear seekers, let us begin not with answers, but with a question. Have you ever watched your mind speak to itself in the darkness? When no one else is around, no duties, no roles, no audience, just you and your thoughts. Have you noticed how thoughts can sometimes be like sacred hymns, and at other times, like venom dripping into your soul, drop by drop? Have you wondered why? Why, even after hearing the deepest truths, after reading sacred texts, after listening to masters, do you still feel haunted by the same old fears, regrets, anger, and inner noise? Why does this storm keep returning? It is because of one unconscious habit that we carry like a shadow. We feed the very thoughts that destroy us. You may not realize it, but every time you argue with a negative thought, every time you replay a hurtful memory, every time you cradle guilt or chew on anxiety, you are feeding it, not resisting it, not healing it, feeding it. And these thoughts, like wolves, grow fat and ferocious when fed. They begin to take over the house of your consciousness, throwing out peace, presence, and purity. You become a stranger to yourself. But what if I told you, you were not born for this? You were not born to be the victim of your thoughts. You were not born to live in this mental jail, this haunted hall of mirrors. You were born to awaken, to remember who you truly are, a divine, conscious, infinite being, shining like the morning sun beyond the clouds of thought. But instead, we spend years, sometimes lifetimes, polishing the chains that bind us. We feed our complaints. We nurture our wounds. We grow gardens of what-ifs and if-onlys, never realizing that our divine nature has no interest in such weeds. Let me take you now to a forgotten moment in the life of the Buddha, a moment that few teachings mention, but which carries the very seed of liberation. One afternoon, after the Buddha had attained enlightenment, he was sitting under the shade of a tree near the village of Anupiya. The air was heavy with monsoon rain. The sky above was split with thunder. A young man named Nandaa, Buddha's cousin and once a prince, came running to him, breathless, disheveled, eyes full of fear. He fell at the Buddha's feet and said, "Forgive me, Lord. I am not worthy of this path. I have failed." The Buddha asked gently, "What has clouded your mind?" Ananda wept. "Thoughts, Master, endless thoughts. I sit in silence and the voices grow louder. Desires of the past, guilt of leaving the palace, anger at those who wronged me, fear that I will never awaken. I am drowning in them." The Buddha listened silently, then said, "Nanda, would you accept a gift that was never yours?" Nanda looked confused. "Of course not, Master." Buddha smiled. "Then why do you keep accepting these thoughts? They are not yours. They arise from the dust of memory, from the echo of the world, from karma not yet burnt. You are the sky, Nanda, but you believe yourself to be the storm." Then he said something unforgettable. "You do not need to destroy your thoughts. You only need to stop feeding them. Do not argue with the darkness. Just light the lamp." In that moment, something shifted in Nanda, not because he fought the thoughts, but because he finally saw them for what they were, not him, not real, not eternal. And that is the same shift I wish for you today, dear seeker. Do not think you are your negative thoughts. You are the one aware of them. You are the witness, the silence before they arise, the peace after they pass. You are the space in which they flicker and fade, not the flicker, not the flame. What happens when you stop feeding negative thoughts? You stop identifying with the false self. You stop pouring energy into shadows. You conserve your emotional fuel, your mental clarity, your spiritual essence. And all of that becomes available for the highest pursuit of human life, to awaken to your divine, conscious, infinite nature. Do you know what this means? It means you are not merely a body with a brain. You are not a bundle of experiences. You are the eternal presence that outlives the body, that existed before the thought, I am, and will remain even when the universe sleeps. But every time you say, I hate them, I am a failure, I can't stop this fear, you step away from that realization. You walk back into the prison. You close the door and swallow the key. And you may now be wondering, how do we actually stop feeding negative thoughts? Let me speak to your heart with simplicity. First, notice the thought. The moment it arises, see it without judgment. Not, I am angry, but anger is arising. That distance is the first breath of freedom. Second, refuse to feed it. Do not replay it. Do not argue with it. Do not justify it. Let it come. Let it go. Do not build it a home. Third, return to the witness. Return to the breath. Return to the silence. Return to the flame that never flickers. And finally, feed what is true. Feed love. Feed presence. Feed gratitude. Feed the remembrance. I am divine. I am awareness. I am infinite. Because you are. The storm was never yours. The chains were illusions. The door was never locked. You are not on the path to divinity. You are the path. You are the divinity. And you cannot find that while serving thoughts that make you small, guilty, or afraid. You must fast from them. Starve them. And in that emptiness, something miraculous will rise. A peace that does not come and go, a joy that is not of this world, a light that does not cast shadows. You were never lost. Only your attention was. Now bring it back home. Stop feeding the thoughts that make you forget. Start feeding the silence that helps you remember. And in that remembrance, you will find what saints died for, what sages cried for, what Buddha realized beneath the Bodhi tree. You are not the body. You are not the mind. You are divine. You are conscious. You are infinite. And you are already free. Just stop feeding what says otherwise.